Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be replacing the water pump on a 2005 GMC Sierra 5.3 liter. This should be about the same process for 99 through 06, early 07 on the Silverados, Sierras, Tahoes, etc. The only difference is your earlier models are going to have a clutch fan bolted here to the water pump pulley, which means you're going to have to take out a shroud, take off the clutch fan before you do any of this. This is a 05, so it has the electric fans, which are here mounted to the back of the radiator. No clutch fan or anything bolted up. If you have a clutch fan on yours, check the clutch fan assembly. Make sure it's working properly when you take it off. See if that needs replaced as well. But if you have the electric fan set up, it's a whole lot easier process, a little less aggravating. Let's get started. This is the replacement water pump. I ordered it off of Amazon. It's the Gates brand. The main reason I went with Amazon was this was half the price of what my closest auto parts store was, and about 2/3 of the price of what the ones across town were that didn't even have them in stock. So Amazon had this to me in 2 days. It's the water pump assembly with the gaskets, the gasket for your water neck where the thermostat goes, and the O-ring. So gaskets you needed, and the water pump assembly itself. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is use an 8mm socket to loosen this hose clamp here and this one here to take this air assembly off from the throttle body to the intake box. Get this out of the way. You can use 5/16 socket also, or flathead screwdriver. I just prefer to use a socket. Alright, so the air intake assembly is off from the throttle body to right here, the mass airflow sensor. I took it off this side, that way I could leave the sensor plugged in and leave it in place, not have to worry about it falling around. And the next thing you're going to do is a 15mm socket on the tensioner, and you just push that down and that takes the slack off, and take your belt off. While you got the belt off, it's the perfect time to check for cracks, wear, tear, anything that would need replacement. That's the perfect time to replace it while you've already got it off anyway. When you go to put your belt back on, you should have a diagram somewhere under the hood, depending on the vehicle. On this, it's on this front core support cover up here. Sometimes it'll be like under the hood or like on a shock tower or something like that. This one's here. If it's not very legible, about like mine is, maybe take a picture of it with your phone right before you take it off, but you can pretty much figure it out. Usually the smooth ones, it's going to have the back of the belt, and the grooves are where the belt's going to ride at. The next thing we're going to do is take 15mm socket, take these 3 bolts here off of the tensioner and take that off, because that will have to be bolted up to the new water pump. And it's just a little bit easier sometimes to break them loose when the water pump is fastened to the engine. And also I drove the truck right before I pulled it in here, so the water in it's still hot, so I'm not ready to take hoses loose. With the tensioner out of the way here, you can see the bolts. You got 3 on each side. They're 10mm, 3 there, and 3 here. You can take this pulley off if you want to. I believe that's 15mm as well. Make it a little easier to access. I may go on and pull it off, I may not. Depends on how easy this thing comes off. Next thing you'll start doing is let the water out and take your hoses loose. You can find the little valve on the bottom of your radiator and try it that way, or you can do like I usually do and just take one of the radiator hoses loose and let everything get soaking wet and water run everywhere. That seems more fun. So you got clamps on all the hoses. Should be 4 of them, one at the top, one off the water neck, and then 2 to go to your heater core over here, 2 smaller ones. So you'll have 4, and we're going to use a set of channel locks. Alright, so everything's off. The mating surface of the block is cleaned up. It's just discolored, and right before I put it on, I'll take a towel, make sure it's real dry. I've switched the thermostat housing and thermostat over to the new water pump. New bolts and new gasket came with it. These are torqued to 11 foot-pounds. It's 11 foot-pounds, not very much at all. You don't want to over tighten it, don't want to strip it, break it off. 11 foot-pounds of torque on the two water neck thermostat housing bolts. What I've done is stuck my water pump bolts through the housing and then slid the gaskets here on the back side, and I'm just going to set this down in front of the engine, slide it up in place, and start the bolts by hand. Alright, water pump sitting up there and finger tight, just snugged up, finger tight to pull it up to the block. As you can see, I did take this idler pulley off earlier. It was one 15mm bolt. It's a whole lot easier just to do that. Give you this extra little bit of room, you can throw it right back on there. Next is torquing the water pump to 6 bolts. And what you do is you start here, or the outside on this side, either one. Torque it to 11 foot-pounds, cross over to 11, cross over to the top, do 11, cross over to the top, do 11, cross over to the bottom, 11, bottom 11. Alright, they're torqued to 22 foot-pounds in sequence, starting with the outside, working crisscross, torque sequencing 11 foot-pounds first pass, 22 to second pass. Put the idler pulley back on, and now got to put the tensioner pulley assembly back on. And obviously you got 3 bolts for that. 2 long ones go at the top, short one here at the bottom. Alright, tensioner is on. Torque to 37 foot-pounds. 37 foot-pounds, all 3 bolts all the way around. Before you throw that on, you might want to go and slide your heater core hoses and your bottom water neck hose up on there. Tensioner is on. Only thing left to do is put your serpentine belt back on, put your top hose back on, and put your intake tube back up top. Fill it with water. Good to go. Alright, serpentine belt's back on. I think I misspoke earlier. This idler pulley right here is a 16mm, and what I do is I route it around everything and leave it off of the alternator. And that way I can just push down tensioner here, use my right hand here to put it up on the alternator, let the tension off. Good to go. Alright, upper water hose is back on back there. Intake tube back on. Once again, screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, or 8mm or 5/16 socket. Just snug these up where you took them off here. Anything that you took loose, put your hoses and all back. Tensioner belt's on. Once again, the tensioner bracket, 37 foot-pounds. The water pump, first sequence of 11 foot-pounds, second sequence of 22 foot-pounds on your torque. And that's it. Put some water back in it, crank it up, take it for a test drive, and just check for leaks. I hope this video has helped you even a little bit. It's really not a bad job, especially if you have a truck with the electric fans. Gives you a whole lot more room, less stuff you got to take off. Just check everything while you got it off. Check your bearings and your idler pulley, your tensioner pulley, see if they need replaced. Replace your belt if it needs it. Replace the AC belt back there. The serpentine belt has to come off to get that anyway. Replace that if it needs it. That's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it.